Well, this is lined up nicely. I was already planning to do a double review of these two films way before they were released because of how similar yet different they are. Both are horror movies, but one is from a brand new director and is based on a video game, and the other is from a legendary director and is an original screenplay. But since both of them came out, they've kind of got a rivalry happening, with Hollywood pulling one of the pettiest moves I've seen in a while and removing Iron Lung from the box office to put Send Help in the #1 spot. It's a shame too, because I like both movies. Well, one a whole lot more than the other, but still. But which one did I like better? Well, why don't we figure out the answer to that question and get into the first film of this review, Send Help. If you're only interested in Iron Lung, then skip to this point in the video. Send Help is the newest movie from Sam Raimi, so you know what that means. Get ready for the camera to awkwardly zoom in and out, blood geysers, long shots of women screaming, and of course, the ever-important Bruce Campbell cameo. Although for that last one, you'll have to look a little closer, since he's more of a background Easter egg and isn't selling hot dogs or whatever he did in Doctor Strange and the Misuse of Multiverses. Yeah, Sam Raimi's last project didn't exactly wow me, but like I said in my Bone Temple review, there's nothing that can make a talented director turn out trash quite like the MCU. Though Send Help is still with Disney through Fox, but whatever. The story follows Linda Little, Rachel McAdams, and her annoying jerk of a boss, Dylan O'Brien, whose plane crashes and leaves them stranded on an island. All hope would be lost for the two if Linda didn't have an unhealthy obsession with Survivor. I know that sounds like a joke I'd make, but no, that's actually what happens. I'm not saying it's unrealistic, it's just really funny. The plot thickens, though, as while her boss wants nothing more than to get back to humanity, Linda sees the island as a paradise and secretly wants to stay stranded forever. The best way I could simplify the plot of this movie would be, what if a sociopath and a psychopath were stuck together on an island? Which this film's premise is by far its most interesting aspect. There isn't a clear protagonist for a good chunk of the movie, with both of the leads being unlikable in one way or another. Linda's boss not seeing people as human beings and just things to control, and Linda being cuckoo banana pants crazy. The different ways the two are terrible people lead to some really entertaining interactions, and also some pretty terrifying ones. But unfortunately, the film couldn't keep it up the whole way. There are two main issues I have with Send Help. The first being out-of-place jump scares. Yep, there's jump scares in this. Possibly just because it's a Sam Raimi movie. It's definitely not because they need it. There's some spoilers from here on out, so again, skip to the Iron Lung section if you don't want to hear any. There's straight up a zombie jump scare in this movie. No, I will not explain any further because there is no more explaining to do. That's just it. There's a zombie jump scare that shows up just to confuse everything and feels like you could cut it out of the movie and it would still move along happily. And then there's the ending. The first part of the ending isn't bad and it has an interesting twist, though not a very well hidden one. Note, in a film like this, if a character tells someone to not go to a certain area because it's full of death and pain and never-ending torment, then you can be certain that they're definitely hiding something over there. No, the twist is fine, though that section gets dragged out for a little longer than it should have been, but the film overall ends on an unsatisfying final note. The last scene shows Linda killing her boss and returning to humanity as a famous celebrity with a book deal about her time on the island. And this ending has upbeat music and a feeling like it thinks we should be rooting for this. I don't think this ending works for a couple of reasons. One, it doesn't make sense that she would return to humanity at all, considering she loved her island life so much she literally killed multiple people for it. And two, she killed multiple people. The film treating this ending like a good thing is like if Silence of the Lambs ended with Hannibal Lecter relaxing on a beach while sipping a nice martini. Whew, it seems I lost myself a little there. Let's get back on track. I still have a whole other movie to review, and if you couldn't tell by how I acted during the Send Help portion, or maybe you just skipped to the Iron Lung section, this is the film I liked more. Iron Lung is the first self-distributed movie from Mark Fishbach, awkwardly labeled by his YouTube name Markiplier in the film's credits, and is based on the video game of the same name by David Szymanski. I feel like this is a good time to say that I don't really like Iron Lung. The game, I mean. I'm not making a paradoxical statement. It's not a bad game per se, but I always liked it better as a concept than a game. Like its setting and ideas would be better in a novel or even a movie, and lo and behold, yeah, that's exactly right. The story follows Simon, played by Mark himself, a convicted criminal who is told he could work off his prison sentence if he goes on an expedition to survey an ocean of blood on a distant moon. To accomplish this research, he has to pilot a modified submarine, the titular Iron Lung, but quickly finds out that he's not alone in the blood ocean. So, where do I start with the positives? Well, this is a horror movie that features little to no jump scares, instead relying on tension building, claustrophobia, and the fear of the unknown. Behold, Markiplier understands horror better than most other Hollywood directors. Hey Blumhouse, take notes. Jump scares are like fart jokes in comedies or laugh tracks in sitcoms. Just a big thing that screams to the audience, you should be scared now. Using too much, like a lot of them do, can lead to the audience becoming numb to them, and Iron Lung understands that subtlety is infinitely scarier and so doesn't rely on jump scares to make you scared. The film instead takes a Jaws approach to its horror. You see, the submarine doesn't have any windows while it's in the ocean because of the increased pressure. The only way Simon can see anything is with a giant camera that takes a picture of whatever's in front of the sub, which leads to a lot of moments where the camera captures a picture of a creature just out of focus, which, mixed with the low quality of the image, makes for some truly chilling moments. The effects are also great looking, with the movie making much better use of the whole blood ocean concept than the game. In the game, the sub did fill with blood a little, but only around ankle height. Near the end of the film, Mark is bathing in fake blood, which turns out isn't very healthy for you and ended up hospitalizing him. Hiding the monsters so that we don't get a good look at it not only helps the horror, but also makes the CGI elements work extremely well. There's also some absolutely stunning cinematography used here, which adds greatly to the isolated and creeping feeling the film has. Okay, I know it sounds like I love this movie more than ham and cheese, but there has to be something I didn't like. Well, the story is kinda confusingly told. Not in the sense that I didn't understand what was happening. I did, eventually. But I had to ponder for a while after I saw the movie as to what exactly happened in some scenes, and that's coming from someone who's played the source material. I know cosmic horror is supposed to be confusing and all, but I'm not talking about the cosmic stuff. I'm talking about the basic plot stuff. I saw the movie with the Duke, who hadn't played the game and was also confused for a lot of the movie, but also, like me, figured it out eventually. So I guess it's not a big issue, just a minor annoyance. The main source of exposition is the speaker that's in the sub, and allows the people overseeing Simon's punishment to communicate with him. But the speaker's effects are a little bit too much, which caused me to not understand a lot of what they were saying. Kind of makes me want to rewatch the film on streaming with subtitles on, because I feel like I missed some stuff. And as for Markiplier's acting, it's pretty good. I mean, I've genuinely seen worse from big name actors. Then again, people like Gal Gadot are considered big name actors. It's funny how I can hear this image. But especially near the end, when Mark really goes crazy, he starts hamming it up and overacting a little too much. And his inexperience is emphasized more with the inclusion of professional actors like Elsie Lovelock and Troy Baker in the cast. But all of those issues I can look past for just how unique a movie Iron Lung is, which is probably why it's doing as well as it is. Well, and having a built-in follower base of 38 million probably helps a little too. Overall, I liked both Send Help and Iron Lung, but while Markiplier's self-distributed, tension-filled ride managed to intrigue me for the entirety of its duration with its unique style, Sam Raimi's flick was, for the most part, interesting, but fumbled right at the end and face-planted straight into the dirt, which no matter how good a movie is, the ending is ultimately what you're left thinking about as you walk out of the theater, or I guess for most people in this day and age, when you get out of the Netflix app. That's all I got for now. The next review should be Fallout Season 2, so if you're interested in that, then be sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit that bell icon to be notified for whenever I make a new video. And if you've seen Send Help or Iron Lung, then let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Okay, that's it. Bye.